I think we might be live. Excuse me, that's no way to start a live stream. Folks, we'll have to see. I gotta finagle some stuff, pull up YouTube, make sure we're live, but I think we are. I highly suspect that we are live. Now, this will be for the very first time in a really long time. If you're watching this video right now, I don't think there's any chance that anybody has found their way into the live stream. Very last minute, I kind of looked down, I looked at the clock, and I was like, you know what? It's a Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. I might as well jump on a live stream. We've talked about it. We've flirted with the idea of bringing back the live streams. Real quick, I'm assuming, like I said, anyone who's watching is probably watching on the re-upload. So let me explain some things here real quick. We haven't done a YouTube live stream for a really long time, and that is in no small part because YouTube doesn't really like me. YouTube has been giving me the slaps for quite some time now. So I pretty much stopped using YouTube completely. We tried to do Rumble. Rumble was not successful. Rumble was terrible. The algorithm was horrible. The live streaming capacity on the platform was basically non-existent. So there were a lot of problems whenever it came to Rumble. But unfortunately, it looks like YouTube is probably our best path. We've got Christine in here. We've got Redneck Zeus. We've got Sage. We've got Francis Blueball. Good to see you guys. I'm glad that we've got a handful of y'all found your way into the live stream. Hopefully, does everything sound okay? Everything sound fine? It's not too bad? I never really know. On y'all's end, I never really know how things are sounding. James Echo. I can't say I've seen James Echo in one of the old live streams, but it's good to see you, James. Hi, everyone. I've missed you. Thank you, Christine. I missed you guys, too. I missed everybody as well. So if the audio's good, the video's not terrible. I hope it's not too bad today. That'll be good. That'll be good. That'll be good. So we've got a handful of people. We have plus or minus just about eight people who are in here right now. So that's what we like to see. Wait, why did I? Sorry, I'm having to like relearn the settings on this thing again because it's a little bit different. It's a little bit funny looking, but I think we're good. I think we're good. Anyways, what do you guys want to talk about? Oops, that was probably really loud for you guys. I have a boom arm. Check this out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've got a boom arm. We're very official, very fancy. We've got this little thing that holds it out. We're doing good. So what do we want to talk about? I have no agenda. I have no plan. I'm happy to talk about anything from the last 3.5 months where we didn't have YouTube live streams going on. I'm happy to talk about anything. James says Ukraine is getting pretty serious. We're still sending billions there. Yeah, we're gonna cross $110 billion that we're sending to Ukraine. We've already pledged 60 something, 65, somewhere in that neck of the woods, $65 billion. And now we're going to pledge, I guess we already have now technically with the passing of this new bill, we're going to pledge another $45 billion in funding to the ever so corrupt country of Ukraine. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, we talk about putting America last. That's unacceptable. We've got veterans sleeping on the streets, and we're sending $110 billion to Ukraine. That's unacceptable. Luke, what's up? Good to see you, Luke. Yeah, no joke. They couldn't give Trump. Luke says $5 billion. He did ask for 5. I think that the total tally, the total estimate that it was going to cost for the border wall construction, start to finish, was supposed to be at the very most $20 billion. So even if it's $20 billion, right, that is a lot of money. But $20 billion to shore up our southern border. We've got drugs coming across. We've got human trafficking. We've got every bad thing you could possibly think of pouring its way across that southern border. And they wouldn't give Trump $5 to $20 billion for that. Yet they're more than happy to give it, 100, literally 5 times as much money. They're happy to go give to Ukraine. Disgusting. It's so wrong. Phoenix, what's up, man? Good to see you, Phoenix. Good to see you. It's good to see all you guys. I missed doing the live streams. Christine says 20 billion is missing. I haven't heard that, but all of it's kind of missing, right? From a certain perspective, I think all of it's missing because we've had zero oversight. Like literally zero oversight has existed in any way, shape, or form. None of it has had any oversight. So we're just writing these blank checks. We're sending it off to Ukraine. And we're just kind of crossing our fingers and hoping that they use the money wisely and hoping that they don't use the money to like buy a bunch of stock in FTX and then have FTX send it. Let's talk about that. That was quite the scandal. FTX, I mean, I'm sure most of you heard this. It's kind of old news by now, but we send money to Ukraine. No oversight, so we don't know what happens, but then we know there's a question mark here, but then we know for sure. We know that Ukraine purchases a bunch of FTX stock. FTX then horrible corruption, Sam Bankman-Fried, all kinds of, it's a whole topic for another day, but he gets busted. The whole thing goes belly up. We start to look at that. Turns out Sam Bankman-Fried was taking like billions and billions of dollars. What's the name for that? There's a specific name in like white collar crime. I don't know. I can't think of it. I can't think of the name of the word. But when you take money from your company and you're not supposed to, blah, blah, blah. He takes this money, number 2 biggest investor in Democrats in the midterms. The number 2 biggest, no, not Ponzi scheme. The number 2 biggest donor in the Democrat, to the Democrat Party, Sam Bankman-Fried. How much of that money was taxpayer money? That literally just went through this washing machine of money laundering. The based goons are back in action. We're going to grab 2023 by... This is from Phoenix. He says we're going to grab 2023 by the cojones and bring in more basedness. Let's get it. Embezzlement. Christine, thank you. You are correct. Embezzlement. Where'd the $250 million that paid for the bail for Sam Bankman-Fried come from? Who could have accepted the cost of that debt? That's a great question, and the answer to that is no one actually paid $250 billion. It didn't happen. They want you to believe that there was a transfer of $250 billion, but Sam Bankman-Fried told the world he only had about $100,000 left to his name. There's no way he made that level of bail. It was some weird, like, electronic promise. His mom promised her house as collateral, and they basically just said they would do it. There was no paying of any bail. There was zero bail on any of that. His mom, like, signed off on, like, let's say a $200,000 house, and that was it. 200,000 and 250 million are a little bit different, but hey, we've got Gabriella. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're doing better than I thought we would. We've got more people in here than I anticipated. You knew Ukraine and FTX were connected somehow. Yeah, it's bizarre, right? The kind of corruption and the way they make these spider webs, right? You find one thing that's horribly corrupt. You find another thing that's horribly corrupt. And the further you go down the rabbit trails, the more that they connect, the more that they start to end up in the same spot. Luciano Casanova, what up, Victor? I miss you on TikTok. I am on TikTok again, kind of. I'm on TikTok. Let me make sure I'm still there. Before I send anybody to TikTok, I made like a 7th or an 8th account. This one is called Generation Frontline. Yeah, we're still up on TikTok. We've got about 4.3K on this new one, Generation Frontline. If you want to follow, I still do post some stuff. I posted one today. Yeah, let's talk about this, actually. I just posted this one video today where we'll hit on this just a little bit. Have you seen the video? It's going around, fairly viral. It's been shared by all of the big commentators and stuff. It's of this guy. I think he's a teenager, so I won't be too hard on him, but it's a guy who's 17 years old. We're going to be somewhat cautious because we're here on YouTube. I ranted and raved about this on the radio show. If you'd like to catch that, the podcast rerun of it, go to realtalk933.com, check out my daily radio show. I did not pull my punches today on the radio, but I'll have to pull them a little bit today just to be careful. Anyways, so you have this guy laying on, it looks like he's laying on his bed, kind of hard to tell. He's laying on his bed. He's got a trans pride thing here, a gay pride thing there, and he's rolling around and he's complaining, oh, this is what womanhood is like. This is what it, because he's now a transgender woman or a transgender girl or whatever, and he's rolling around on the ground, oh, I'm having period cramps. So he's a biological man saying he's having menstrual cramps, period cramps, so bad so, in fact, that he has to go and get one of those heating pads. You know, those they're a real thing, and from the women I've known, they say that it helps them. Those heating pads that kind of help with the cramping and all that stuff. He has a heating pad on his stomach, talking about how he's hurting, blah blah blah, and that's impossible, right? He has no uterus. His uterine wall cannot shed. He cannot have a period. It's impossible. So he's just sitting there cramping, so he says. My mind went straight to poop. He's literally full of crap, like both, figuratively and literally. He is actually full of crap. If he's having that bad of a problem in his lower abdomen that's causing him to roll around in pain and complain about menstrual cramps, he's probably extremely constipated, is what that is. Or worst case, he may be suffering from appendicitis if he's having that bad of pain in his lower abdomen. But no, I mean, if you want to catch my more stinging remarks when it comes to that, I called it an offense against God. The way that they try and force us all to accept this insanity. Hopefully that doesn't get us taken down from YouTube, but ridiculous, absolutely stupid. RC is in here. He says, I didn't put my punches on the radio. Whatever. If y'all don't follow RC, be sure you do. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Kind of dumb. Kidding. But no, he is a good dude. Estrogen in men causes diarrhea. He's not having period cramps. See, that's what I thought. I didn't know that, but I just figured it was poop related. I figured he was really in some deep water when it came to his poop. That was my thought. The real crime of that video was the plug in the Mario music. It was not the vibe for me, and was, to me, a disrespectful use of Mario music. Justice for Mario. I didn't pick up on the fact that there was Mario music playing, but I guess now that you say that, it only adds to it. The Twitter files, holy cow, yeah, so the Twitter files. We don't have time to completely rehash all 8 or 9 volumes of the Twitter files, but what's very, very clear is that big tech is not private. Everybody likes to say that big tech, oh, they're private companies, Twitter, private company, YouTube, private company, TikTok, private company. No, none of these are private companies. TikTok excluded because they're owned by the CCP, but the rest of them are subsidiaries of the FBI. Whatever the FBI told Twitter to do, Twitter did. They clicked their heels, they stiffened their back, and sir, yes, sir. And they did exactly what the so-called intelligence community told them to do. That's not a private business. When you get special legal protection from the federal government, when you're subsidized, as they all are, if you're subsidized by the federal government and you do whatever it is that they tell you to do with your 150 plus email correspondence and 80 designated FBI agents telling you what to do, you're not a private company. You're a subsidiary of the federal government. In fact, by legal standards, it's my understanding that you would be legally, constitutionally considered a government actor at that point. You're doing what you're doing at the direct behest, the borderline compulsion, or, I mean, it's like they're forcing you, the federal government forcing you to do something. You become a state actor is what that's called. And if you're a state actor, you do not have the right to violate somebody's rights. For example, their First Amendment freedom of speech. So all of these censorship campaigns is probably the right word. All of these censorship campaigns that they've gone on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, etc., that is absolutely a constitutional violation. It was possibly a violation before we knew this. Now there's no two ways about it. You're acting as a government actor. You do not get to limit people's freedom of speech. So, yeah. All right, we got a tag here. SNL recently made a skit trying to normalize assault against men. Did you hear about that? I did not hear about that. I'll have to check that out, though. What in the world? Brewster, what's up, Jason? Good to see you, my friend. Patricia? What's up, Lyle and Pat? How did you guys find this? Lyle and Patricia are very good friends of ours from a long time. Family friends, go way back. Very good people. It's good to see you guys. How did you guys find this live stream? It's a small but very big world. I hope you guys are having a really good time. Down in Florence. Interesting. What's got you out there? Always traveling. Always traveling. RC, I have no idea what you're talking about, but is one of them Caitlin? It's probably you, and it's probably Caitlin. Those are the two women that are into me. Renee, what in the world? Renee, something like that. How was your Christmas? My Christmas was fantastic. Speaking of which, I know I'm going to get a little bit quieter because I'm moving from the mic. Check this bad boy out. Wow, this thing is so freaking cool. My folks got me one of these. It's a little 22 single action revolver. We're going to check it, make sure that we're clear real quick. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but we're clear. All of the cylinders are empty. Let me do a check for myself. All the cylinders are empty in this guy. A little 22 we got going on here. But anyways, follow you on YouTube, Common Sense. Okay. That's cool. You settled in there. Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys are well. But no, this thing is freaking sweet. I am so stoked. It's a true single action old school revolver. This thing is absolutely, absolutely awesome. I've been plinking around messing with this thing. It's just there's nothing cooler than that. Like listen to that. That's just I mean it really doesn't. It doesn't get much better than that. This thing is super cool. Anyways, I just wanted to I was waiting to kind of flex that. I was pretty stoked. See if I can prop it up. I was pretty stoked about that though. Murica. In fact, it is indeed Murica. Ben Geinup says, "Hey man, how are you? I'm well. How are you? Fingers crossed. I may be able to live stream soon. Right on, man. I'll be watching. Dude, stole that flag from a city council. No, I didn't steal the flag from a city council meeting. I did get another flag though. Hang on. I've yet to find. I know it's going to be quiet. I've yet to find the place to put this on the wall. It's a little piece of Americana, a little piece of American history we got going here. The first flag ever flown. Ugh, the first flag, I don't know how much y'all could hear that. The first flag ever flown in the American Revolution, it was the Appeal to Heaven. It had the Liberty Tree. That's that tree depicted, a little evergreen. It was first flown. If my memory serves me, we're just trying to go off memory here. But if my memory serves me, first flown by George Washington in like 1775. So very, very cool. I'm a big fan of the Appeal to Heaven. Brandy's in here. What's up? Good to see you. Logical Jokester. Victor has a backwards hat on. I know. It's not very on brand for me in a lot of ways, considering I'm an old man at heart. But the reason I do the backwards hat, and we're going to ruin the hair, we're going to ruin the hat, we're going to ruin the whole shebang. The tree is thirsty. Yes, sir, I do remember. The Liberty Tree is thirsty. That's in reference to an old Thomas Jefferson quote. Thomas Jefferson very famously said, "The tree of liberty is watered from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants alike." And I add on to that quote, the tree's getting a little bit thirsty. But a lot of streamers do their hat backwards. It's like a staple. Okay, so the real reason, as you can probably tell by now, the real reason that I have my hat backwards is because with the lighting and stuff, very difficult to have your hat forward. Y'all are going to see my hair is really bad. I went to the gym before this, went into the sauna, took a shower, and now my hair is absolutely buck wild. So I've had a hat on all day. And so if I have my hat on, and it's forward, it casts a really gnarly shadow on my forehead. So instead, I go backwards so I can kind of see it. Or you guys can kind of see my head for what little that's worth. Where are we at? Great to see / hear you. All best to your family. Thank you. I'll tell them you said so. It's good to hear from you guys. Let's see. Someone else I know is getting thirsty too, Victor. Dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. Is this a Q&A or a thirst? What are you all talking about? Anyways, you guys are going to get me in trouble with Caitlin. Did you see that the SCOTUS told New York they have to tell the 4th to justify the Carry Improvement Act? I heard something about that. I heard something about that, but I'm not well versed enough on it to actually know. RC, tell your second personality to calm down. Yeah, RC, tell your second personality to calm down. How was your Christmas? It was very good. Very good Christmas. Why is Missouri the show me state? I learned about this in 4th grade. I learned all about my state, our capital, our flowers, our trees. Our tree is a dogwood tree, by the way. Learned all kinds of stuff about all of our state history. And I did learn why we were called the Show Me State. I think it's related to Western expansion and Lewis and Clark. I think it's related to Western expansion and Lewis and Clark. I'm honestly not 1,000% sure about that, but I think that's why it was. Show me the West, I think is where it came from, but I could be mistaken on that one. Just realized who that was. Who is it? Renee Acciano? Am I supposed to? I'm sorry, Renee, if I'm messing with you. I don't know who that is. SCOTUS kept Title 42 in place. Big win. Yes, it is. Did you see my question? No, Cameron, I don't think I did. There's not very many comments, so I don't know how I could have missed a question, but resend the question. I'll try and get around to it. Any opinion on Ben Shapiro's recent Twitter thread? I don't think I follow Ben Shapiro on Twitter, but we can check it out right now. Ha 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 ha, yes. Wait, what are you talking about? Who is that? I don't know who that is. Okay, we're going to the Twitter. We're going to the Twitter of Mr. Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro. Okay, here we go. I am following Ben. We're good. Ben Shapiro's most recent tweet. He said The Last Jedi sucks. To tweet about Glass Onion, some Netflix movie, Sandra Bullock movie. Victor, you know who I am. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who you are. Renee Acciano? Are you the Renee that's friends with RC? It's the thread about Ukraine. Oh, Ukraine? Well, that's not his most recent thread. That's not even close to his most recent thread. I don't know. There's too much going on Ben Shapiro's Twitter for me to monitor what Ben Shapiro's talking about. Okay, all right. I know who you are. I know who you are. The profile picture is really small, and I don't know your last name, so I've just known you as Renee. Victor isn't very good with names. That is true. I'm really not very good with names. Who even is RC? RC is a troubled youth. That's what he is. RC is a troubled youth. No, RC is a good guy. He's a TikToker. His handle is the right corner. He makes content that really pisses off the feminists and etc. Victor, have you ever done a discussion stream with John Doyle? No, but I did have John Doyle on my radio show one time. Very smart, very, very smart young man. I've had John Doyle on, I've had Charlie Kirk on, I've had Will Witt on, I've had the Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft on, I've had Missouri gubernatorial candidate Bill Eigel on. I've had some pretty cool people on. I say that just to say that of all of those people, the only person that I was like blown away with, not as an insult to any of these other people, but the only person that like really impressed me was John Doyle. John Doyle is a very high IQ individual. He's definitely, you can just tell when you just talk to him, he's very smart. So John Doyle's cool. John Doyle's cool. I also had Jason on. We talked about nuclear energy. That is absolutely, I remember that. That was a while ago now, but yeah, Doyle's smart. Do you think Doyle and Fuentes have any similar views? Where do they differ? They have similar views up until a certain point. You're going to find a certain point where John Doyle, this is going to have to be very, very intentional about this so as not to be clipped. So for context, if this is clipped, if anything I'm about to say for the next 2 minutes is clipped, no, you can come back here. This is proof in the pudding. They're going to take it out of context and clip it. Some of the things that Nick Fuentes says are absolutely 100% accurate. I think Nick Fuentes, although being an absolute moron, is very high IQ. There's a difference between being stupid and being a moron. You can be a high IQ moron. You can't be stupid and high IQ, if that makes sense. In my head, it makes sense. Nick Fuentes will say things that are absolutely rock solid awesome, but he if he would shut up a little bit sooner, he would be smart. It's like he says intelligent things, and then he just suddenly, you're listening to him, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. I do agree with you on this immigration policy. I agree with you on this, America First style agenda. And then it's like, whoa, when did you start talking about Jewish people? When did you start, like, why are you ragging on interracial marriage or a product of interracial marriage? So Nick Fuentes goes too far and just says the dumbest, most outlandish stuff. And it's like he does it because he's an immature child in a lot of ways is why he does that. Very stupid. He's a lot of things. I'm not a fan of Nick Fuentes. Massive moron. John Doyle is similar to Nick Fuentes on those issues that Nick is right about. He just doesn't do the stupid racist bullcrap. There's no reason. There's no excuse for the stuff that Nick Fuentes does. John Doyle has intelligent conversations. He's socially conservative. He's a lot of the things that the conservative movement needs to be, but without the stupid internet troll, edgelord, meme, groiper, stupid pseudo personality that Nick Fuentes is. Nick Fuentes is just reactionary. He just wants people to be like, oh, you can't say that. And that's his whole brand. He's like a Milo Yiannopoulos, but on weird racist steroids. It's a stupid, immature, childish brand. But I really like Doyle. I think Doyle and Fuentes, actually, I think Doyle and Fuentes have serious beef these days. Fuentes is mad at Doyle because people take Doyle seriously because he behaves like an adult, not like a stupid child. And I think Fuentes is mad about that because some of the base, like what he thinks are his base right-wing followers or whatever, are leaving Fuentes because they found out Fuentes is extraordinarily stupid. And they're going to people like Doyle, who are actual adults and intelligent and not extraordinarily stupid. But nonetheless. Did you hear about the Republican that lied on his resume before he won his election? Yes, I did. I heard about that. He lied about his qualifications, his education, his career history. He lied about all kinds of stuff. This is a New York guy. Forget his name. It's like Jahopolis or something interesting. Apparently, he might not actually be Jewish. He claimed to be Jewish. I don't know. Why would you think that Kanye West would want to pair himself up with someone like Nick Fuentes? Because Kanye is exceptionally stupid. And I think Caitlin is right. She says him and Kanye both just like the reaction. That's true. Logical jokester. I've never heard Doyle say anything about being against interracial marriage in any way, shape, or form at all. I think Fuentes is actually, he said it like a billion times, he's actually against white and black people getting married and opposes it very strongly, which is extremely stupid. His name is Fuentes. He's a white guy with the last name of Fuentes. He's Mexican. He's a quarter Mexican. That'd be like me talking bad about Puerto Ricans. It doesn't exactly make sense as a Puerto Rican person. My last name is Nieves. I am the result of interracial marriage. It'd be very stupid. He's just dumb. Fuentes is very, very dumb. He's a child. He's a child, and I would love nothing more than to have a charity boxing match with Nick Fuentes. Loser has to never make another video ever again in his entire life. Can you speak Spanish? Poquito. Not enough to be considered like bilingual by any way, shape, or form. I used to be a little bit better at conversational Spanish when my abuelita was alive, but ever since she passed, a lot of my Puerto Rican family has kind of started to die off. They're getting a little bit older. And being in the middle of Missouri, there weren't that many of my Puerto Rican relatives that were in this area. And so I've just been exposed a lot less to conversational Spanish, but I'd pick it up again quick. Unqualified advice. As I start my new vodcast, what do you believe are the best things that I can do to reach the most people? Taking advice from conservative prudence, obviously. I don't know. The best things you can do to reach the most people is just have good content, entertaining content, but sometimes you can have the best content in the world and no one will see it because algorithms are really, really stupid. So if you're doing stuff on YouTube, it's my understanding that thumbnails and titles are extremely important. Having things go on in your video to keep viewer retention is really important. Regular and frequent content creation is really important. If you're doing longer form video, like between 5 and 20 minutes long, make clips of it and share it to other social medias to promote the bigger video. They call that mothershipping, where you make one long video, clip it up, and then use that for your short form platforms. That's a good idea. When did Victor put his hat backwards again? Because the lighting, I already explained this. If interracial marriage was illegal, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't either, so. When you debate abortion, do you use your Christian view to justify your pro-life stance? No. Not unless it gets to a really philosophical worldview sort of a point, then maybe we could do something like that. Or if I'm debating with another Christian. If it's somebody who says, I am a Christian, then I would say, okay, well, as a Christian, right, let's talk about how John the Baptist leapt with an L, leapt in his mother's womb when he entered into the presence of Christ while he was yet an unborn child, how, Christ knew us before he knit us together in our mother's womb, again, assigning personhood within the womb. We can talk about how the Bible just clearly tells you not to kill innocent people. We can talk about what Jesus had to say in the New Testament and like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John about, what happens to those who harm children. From a Christian perspective, there's no real argument. So if I'm talking to a Christian who says that they're pro-choice, then I would base that conversation on our shared and similar worldview. But if I'm talking to somebody who is not a Christian, then I'm not going to bring it up because that's citing unto them something that they don't believe. I'm not going to convince them to not kill a baby because of their Christian faith that they don't have. So my debate stance when it comes to abortion is purely, quote unquote, purely secular. It's purely secular logic. At the end of the day, if they want to get into like, some of these TikTok nerds will do this where they want to get into like deconstructing morality and where rights come from and blah. That's inherently a worldview and philosophical discussion. And where you your worldview, right, is going to be what determines those answers, right? If you say that all human life has value, that's because your worldview essentially, in one way, shape, or form, your worldview tells you that human life has value. If you tell me that, no, I don't think all human life has inherent value, I think you're an idiot. I think you're a liar. But also, you have to be holding to some sort of like postmodern worldview that's deconstructing the meaning of life, and some people don't have value, and everything is subjective. And that's a really stupid. I generally try not to have conversations with people that are that dumb. It's an exercise in futility. But either way, long answer to a short question, no. Have you talked about the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill? It is an insult. It's a smack across the face. $1.7 trillion. We're $31 trillion in debt. The stuff that's in there, the pork that's in there, absolutely offensive, ridiculous, beyond stupid. Not a fan of the $1.7 trillion omnibus. There are some good things, I will say. There's some good stuff, some pork that Republicans got in there that's not half bad. It does end in the defense spending bill within the omnibus bill. It does end the military vaccine mandate, which is a W. That's good, but hardly offsets the $1.7 trillion in cost. We should have had that, ending of the military mandate without spending $1.7 trillion. But it's good news to all of our military members out there. What time is it? We're a little bit past time, but not. Let's see. What are we actually at? 9:32. We're about at 30 minutes, but we're gonna go pretty soon. Do you have a perspective to share on the incoming dude, Eric Schmidt? Eric Schmidt is awesome. He was a state senator. Actually served in the state senate with my dad. I don't know him super well on any personal capacity, but Eric has been a very disciplined, sticking to his guns conservative for a very, very long time. He's been a fantastic, exceptional attorney general. It's my hope that he continues to be fantastic and continues to be a great, great representative for the state of Missouri, an ambassador, a statesman for the state of Missouri for many years to come. Missouri will now, fun fact, Missouri will be the only state in the entire union that has both of our senators be complete rock stars. Hawley is a rock star. I'm certain Eric Schmidt will be an absolute fantastic rock star. You look at like Texas. Texas does have Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is really good, but it also has Cornyn or whatever that dork's name. He's terrible. Cornyn is absolutely garbage. You look at Rubio in Florida. I forget his counterpart. Also not particularly impressive. So Missouri will be the only state in the union with two fantastic senators. So great question. Is your question not going through? No, Cameron, your question has not gone through. Mark Grace, good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'm glad that you're in here. Caitlin says Cornyn is a sack of trash. Excuse me. I'm overcoming. I've pretty much gotten past, but I'm in the process of recovering from a pretty serious stomach flu. I was sick on Christmas Eve. I was a little bit sick on Christmas Day, but not too bad. We're over it now. Over the worst parts. I'm over the flu and the fever and the throwing up and the etc. But not too bad. Anyways, folks, I think we're gonna dip. We're over 30 minutes. We had way more people in here than I thought we were gonna have, so that's always a welcome surprise. Anyways, that's all the time I'm gonna do today. Let my throat recover. I don't want to talk too much, but until next time, keep me in your prayers. Keep your country in your prayers. I will see you all. God bless. If I can figure out how to end it.